Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
Do you think I'm good at my job?
Yeah. Fuck it out.
George, hello.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Straight off,
Yeah,
we're in the same room.
we are in the same room.
Pray, do tell. What we've been doing today?
I've been doing some drum recording at your studio.
Yeah, we are coming to you from the old Blacksmith Studios in Hillsey.
It's weird, isn't it? Do we keep eye contact throughout?
I don't
it's
know.
quite intense at the moment.
It's really intense. We're sat very opposite each other, sort of each end of the room, and I'm in a sort of mastermind
You are. Well, you always are.
chair. Yeah, it's my chair.
Even the stance is mastermind. With the
Yeah.
shoes as well. Let's explain the shoes before we get on to what we did.
Picked up some new shoes in New York.
Yep.
Adidas. You know, the sort of modern run-in style
Yeah?
sort of thing. And they sort of...
Is that all you're going to say about them?
No.
okay.
I'm just painting a picture.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's a fucking yellow picture.
Yeah.
Bright yellow, Simpsons themed. Homer Simpson themed, isn't it?
Yeah. They're very cool. They're very yellow. I'm impressed that you kept them clean.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
it's
Just I wear them for my walks,
Yeah.
for MenCap. Walking to work, innit? Same sort of thing.
Yeah,
Mental health.
well.
What is MenCap? Don't know.
No. doesn't
Anyway.
matter.
Welcome to Drum and Drummer.
Yeah. I've been recording.
Yes.
Why is the question?
Big question.
I want to make another... I don't know. It's not even really a show reel. Just a video of me playing in a studio. I think is quite good. Because a lot of the stuff I have on my Instagram, all of it really, is just phone recordings from gigs.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be quite nice to get a proper recording done of a Ren track.
Yeah.
And put it online just as a, if someone says, "Oh, have you got a video of you playing?" There's one. I will say, I'm slightly worried about one of the camera angles because it's a bit shaky, so I need to work on that. But sounds great.
Well, yeah.
Thanks
Thank
to you.
Well, let's talk about. Should we talk about the kit?
Yeah, let's
we'll
talk
take
about the
We'll
kit.
make sure we take a picture of it. I mean,
Yeah.
if we filmed it, but
Yeah.
So I've had a few sessions over the last 3 days.
Do you mean gone out drinking?
No, work, baby.
Right.
I'm all work. I tell a lie, I did have a couple of Guinea on Saturday with my brother.
Ah, that's nice.
So I had quite a lot of kit set up already.
Mm.
And one thing, I did a session on Friday, a couple of new tunes playing for Archie Mack.
Mhm.
Shout out Archie. And I did a session on Saturday morning as well for someone else. Sunday I had a band in, I was recording. They used most of my kit. But the crux of the story is I had the Yamaha Rock Tour kick and the recently skinned stage custom toms. My cymbals were already up.
Yep.
You brought all your stuff. I said, George, what do you want to use?
Well, this is it. I didn't know. Technically, I didn't really need to bring anything. All I used was my kick pedal and sticks.
Yeah.
Even then, probably didn't.
I got them.
You got both of them. But it was great. It was a real joy to play those, not just cymbals, but all the drums, all the big ones.
Yeah.
It's just nice. It's just nice to play a kit because I only really get to play a drum kit when I'm doing a gig.
Yeah.
And so you don't really get to sit and enjoy it. Just to even do a, let's check the drums. That was nice because I've got my little kit at the studio, but it's all mesh heads. It's got to be quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just nice to play. To be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, we use the so the Stage Custom 13 and 16-inch toms.
Yep.
The new beats. How did you find the new beats?
Yeah, I really like them. Yeah,
they sound like a hi-hat.
Yeah, they do.
They just sound like a hi-hat.
Yeah, they do.
We used the 19-inch Sabian Legacy Crash.
Yeah.
Then we used the new 20-inch, my new 20-inch K Cluster Crash that I picked up recently from the big man G-Russ.
Mm-hmm.
That sounded good, didn't it?
That sounded great.
But let's talk snare.
Yeah.
Because even in this room,
Yeah.
I've put some of my snares on display in the control room, but I've also got my private stash, not for the general public. And in a recent edition, it's the 14 by 5.5 brass Yamaha recording custom, which I used for one track with Archie on Friday. We used it today. How do you like it?
Oh, it's lovely. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Great rim shot.
Vibe.
Yeah. And just in general, I don't know. Well, I will say, on from that, it's just nice being at this studio and there's more drums to choose from. That must be nice for you as an engineer to be like, what do you want? Because I'm looking now, there's 6 snares just to my left that weren't there before, you know? That's a good thing, you know? I don't know how
I
else
think
to say
just
it.
visually having them out is just appealing.
Yeah.
Like when people come here and they can see instrument, like,
Yeah.
ooh, that's nice. It just looks good.
It does look
but
good.
Then also, quick rundown, we got Pearl Masters, we got a Natal hand-hammered steel, which I thought was brass. Turns out that's bullshit. We got the Pearl Modern Utility.
Yeah.
13 by 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
The Mapex Cherry Bomb. The Pearl Sensitone. And a Natal, I believe it's walnut.
Right, okay.
So there's some options.
There's some serious options.
Some nice options there.
Yeah.
And then I think as well, just having some good, more available choices.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Yeah, it's brilliant as a studio to have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I went to a studio once and there was a selection of snares. Even though I didn't really know what I was looking for, it was just nice to try them all out. So I think, it's great.
Cool. And how did you think today went?
Good. It's a weird one though, isn't it? Because it's sort of like, I don't know, you could keep going all day.
So this was the brief.
Yeah.
And from my side of things, engineering today was you were shooting like a video. It was a video. So it's the main end goal format is video.
Yeah.
And so we got all the mics up and everything, but we sort of chatted first thing, and it was like, do you want it essentially fully processed?
Yeah.
Like a mix. But you said your goal was no, you want it to be like this is just you playing. And so from then, my point of view, to deliver the finished audio, I don't have to do what I normally do.
No.
So it's like no triggers. And barely it's just balancing, no gating, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Just making sure it's well balanced and maybe a little bit of EQ and a bit of compression. But what I will say is like that kit just sounds great.
Yeah.
Through the mics with no treatment whatsoever. So I had to, as mixing it, would be like, I can't make it. I don't want it to sound. We didn't want it to sound too studio processed, did we?
No, I want it to sound like, that is me playing the drums. But I'll say that's what was funny is the balance between, okay, am I trying to put on a show because it's a video, or am I trying to make it sound as tight as possible? Because there was one take that I was like, that must have looked like I was going for it. But then we listened back and the kicks were quite rushed on the first chorus, you know?
Yeah.
So it's finding the balance.
Commonly done.
Yeah.
The rushing.
Yeah.
Commonly done. The oldie and rush. When you're excited.
Yeah.
And that's what I say, a lot of people I record, like, when you've got, I think this is true, I'm guilty of it. When you've got like a fill with 16ths in it.
Yeah.
And you're going around the kit. Obviously, I think it's natural. You go, I've got loads of notes here, so I've got to be fast.
Yeah.
And I'd say in the majority of the time, people play it, you play it too fast.
Yeah, of course.
And you've actually got a little bit more time than you think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, and that energy and excitement, that's why people play things a little bit faster when it's live, all that sort of stuff. But it was just a little case of that, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was, I was aware people were going to be watching, so you got to make it look good, but
very hard line, isn't it?
It is a hard line.
Those drum videos, and I think I can't remember now. I don't think I'd call them out anyway, but I've seen some drum videos online, like Instagram and that, where the sounds great, but it's so processed, it almost doesn't match, the video, and then you see some where it's like, there's been nothing done to this at all, and it's a bit out of time, So there's this real balance of that sounds like I'm watching that person play the drums, versus it's too processed, versus it needs a bit of work.
Well, this is something interesting because I was showing Elfie a drum video the other day. It like came up on my Instagram, and it was one of those, Instagram drummers, very processed, and I was sort of trying to explain like this isn't them playing it, and she was like, but it is though, because I can see them hitting it and the sound is happening. I'm like, yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
I was trying not to be too like, I don't know. Yeah, but you don't get it. But it's weird because technically their hand is hitting the snare and then a noise is happening, but you can tell it's not the noise that happened. I don't know. So I think, with this, just try and make it just look like just a better drum cover, because I can't really do them in my studio, and just try and make something that looks all right, and then I can just whack it on Instagram, and then people will watch for 4 seconds and then scroll to something else.
Scroll to a baby hippo yawning.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
And then watch that for longer, which is fine. It's
and I'll get way more likes.
Way more likes, way more views. I saw there was an Instagram account. People keep making them, and it'll be like, I'll throw this ball for my dog the amount of times, the amount of 1,000 followers we have. And then she's like, oh, unfortunately today we only have 79 followers, so I'm not going to throw the ball for my dog. And then I watched the video, and it's from like a week ago, and they've got like 40,000 followers already. And then you watch the latest video, and she's like, yeah, I'm throwing my, there's 40 times for this dog. And I was like, that's such a clever way. Like, how could we do that with our Instagram? Right, I'm going to, it'd have to be something cute, and neither of us, I'd say,
for every 1,000 followers, we drop our release rate by half.
Yeah.
Sort of the ante. People follow us and we'll stop talking.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I mean, that's probably more what people want.
I think so.
Yeah. Other than that, so that was today. It's been a very good day. Very good day.
Fun. I always enjoy drumming.
The drummer boys working in a professional environment.
Yeah.
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 So.
Well, it isn't professional yet. I haven't paid you yet. But,
That's true.
When money is exchanged, then it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Well, let's talk about
my kit.
Your new kit.
Let's talk about that, because I'm ready to talk about this. So I mentioned before I bought a new kit for just, smaller gigs.
Sure.
My kit is a bit cumbersome. Lumbersome? Cumbersome.
I think cumbersome.
Yeah. Cumbersome doesn't sound right, though. I think because it has cum at the start of the word.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But, my kit's a bit cumbersome. So I bought a smaller one. I didn't have time to re-head it or anything, but I tuned it up with what I had, which wasn't great. It was just whatever the factory heads were on the Gretsch Catalina. And I used it for a gig with Lennon the other day, and it was nice. It was just nice. It was an easier load-in. My God. Weirdly, it seemed to take up the same amount of floor space. I don't know if that's because you've still got a kick, and technically it's like my kick is 22 by 18, but this is
well, your legs are the same size,
18 by 14.
And your arms are the same size.
Yeah.
So
this is it, and you're still putting the stands up. Yeah.
They're going to be like in the same place.
Yeah, so I think it was like 4 inches shallower, so it wasn't that different. But it was nice to have it. Weirdly, I thought I'd mention this. The low tom sounded great from just. It's
a 14-inch.
Yeah, but it was just the skins were awful and just dead, and the last guy that had it covered them in tape and stuff. But it was just nice. The high tom wasn't so great, but I'm very excited because I bought all new heads for it yesterday.
What have you gone for?
I've gone for Remo, Ambassador and Emperor. Emperor for the top, Ambassador for the bottom.
Yeah.
That's right, innit?
Yeah. Coated, boy.
Coated.
Yeah.
Because, and I'll explain for why. I just felt
I've done it on that and it sounds awesome.
Well, that, yeah. But also, it just seemed weird.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm giving great advice here.
You are. It seemed weird having clear skins on a Gretsch Catalina. I don't know why. I think because it looks so jazzy. It would just seem odd. And I bought cases for it, so I'm ready with cases and heads.
Would you go for case-wise?
Same protection racket. Sorry, Dave from Hardcase. But I who will be on next week. Just because they're, I know where I am with them. And it would just be nice. I think I'm quite looking forward to having... I need to sort my electric kit out. Did I tell you that? That broke. The brain or whatever.
Oh,
broke.
I remember you texting me going, do you have an electric kit?
Yeah.
And I went, no.
Ox does, though.
Ox
Everybody uses his. But I need to fix that. But I just want a nice line at my studio in the storage area of like Gretsch Catalina, Tama Star Classic, electric kit. And then I'm ready to go. What do you want me on? Big rock gig?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Small pub gig? Noise limiter gig? It's all there. So, that'll be a nice day.
Right, okay. So, you got your line. I don't know what that is. You set up for you, and you got your Catalina.
Yeah.
You got your Tama.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the deal with hardware?
What a good question, right? So, because I use the same hardware, obviously cymbal stands and hi-hat stands for the gig. I didn't buy new ones. That would be mental for a new kit. But, the tom legs are different.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me does think my hardware's pretty heavy. Is it worth buying some real cheap cymbal stands for pub gigs just to make it easier? You know what I mean? Just less, because they're just big boom Tama metal heavy stands. And I'm like, do I just have a good hardware case and then but it seems mental because it seems like, well, that's too much stuff.
Yeah.
So, I think...
To have double of everything.
Yeah, that is mental, isn't it?
It's quite mental.
Especially when it's like you're deliberately buying a cheaper, worse version of it,
Have you seen those Yamaha... I can't remember what they're called, but they're like extremely lightweight stands.
No.
I swear they've got like City in the title.
Yeah.
Or something like... can't remember, but they're really light. I saw some in New York, but I saw some at G-Russ. It's like that is what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want for the Gretsch.
Yeah.
That would be my...
Well, I'll look into it. Because it would be nice to just have
so light,
such a light
so
load-in.
light.
Because my hardware bag is heavy,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It was good to road test it, but now I just want to just spend a day.
Have you got a new
it.
kick skin for it?
Yes, I will do. I think. Oh God, I can't remember. My phone's in the other room. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
But it's Remo something. But
sure.
Power Stroke maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
That rings a
Sounds
bell.
right.
Yeah, it does sound right, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's nice. Just nice to have a new kit. Just nice to have these. I like my bass at a studio. I like it. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, right, what am I doing today? I've said it before. Ooh, let's make the kit nice, and then let's use it on a gig, So it's cool. Do you want to hear about a gig I went to?
Yeah, okay.
Why? Did you have something?
Don't think so.
So, have you heard of Yumi at 6?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Def Havana?
Yeah.
So I went to see both of them and another band, actually, whose name I can't remember. So my friend Luke Campbell, who will be on the pod at some point, but God, he's hard to pin down. He plays for Def Havana, and he said, I'm playing in Portsmouth. Your ends. And I was like, oh, I'll come down to that. He was at Guildhall. He was like, cool, I'll put you on the guest list. And he's like, I'll do +1 as well. So I took Iona, who I used to be in a band with, because she was a big fan of Yumi at 6 growing up. So it was a great evening. We got there. But I got to tell you about Luke. He is, drummers listening to this, a lot of the Brighton ones will know him. Unbelievable player. And probably the most relaxed person I've ever seen before playing a gig, especially such a, prestigious venue. So he was on at 8, right? 8 p.m. with Def Havana, supporting Yumi at 6. think it was sold out. If not sold out, pretty close. It was packed, He meets me at the train station, Portsmouth and Southsea train station, at about 10 past 7, and he's got a bag of takeaway food he's got from a kebab shop or something. And I was like, you didn't have to meet me. Like, you're on soon. He was like, that's all right. It's cool. He's like, I need to eat anything. I need to eat something anyway. So he gets us to me and Iona. He gets us to the security guy, and he goes, these with me, these people, and we go through. And then he's like, I'm just going to have a shower, have something to eat, and then I'll come back and meet you. I was like, you sure? It's now 20 past 7. And he was like, yeah, it's cool. So he went off, and he came back, and he met us, and we watched the band that was on before Def Havana. And he literally watched them until their set finished at 10 to 8. And then he was like, right. Better go. Yeah. And he left. And then I think they went on about 5 past 8. So 15 minutes later, he's on stage. But I was like, I've never seen anything like that. That level of just, if it was me playing Portsmouth Guildhall, I'd be, an hour like, right, I need to practice. I need to warm up. Have I had a wee? All this. Like, and he was just, it was like.
Got to time your nervous poo.
You got to time your nervous poo. I didn't want to say it, but anyway, yeah, Def Havana were great. It was the first time seeing them. And it was really good to see Luke on the big stage, because he's someone who plays places like Cass's in Brighton and all these different places. And I always go to them and whatever. But yeah, it was nice to see him on a big stage. And we will get him on the pod at some point. Then I saw Yumi at 6, and that was cool. I loosely know Chris, the guitarist. He's Laurie's brother. And yeah, they were great. But it was weird because I'm embarrassed saying it. I've never really listened to Yumi at 6.
I heard their first few albums.
Yeah, well, this is it. I'm aware that they're such an iconic, especially I feel like my generation, our generation, like that time of
politeness.
Yeah, no, how old were you when they?
I must have been 20.
Yeah. Well, that's a fine
18,
age,
20,
because I think it's like teenage to 20s. That was a time of that genre of music. I don't even know. I don't want to pigeonhole it because it's not emo, but it's.
I know what you mean.
It's sort of it's
mid-noughties, isn't it?
Yeah, mid-noughties. Yeah. But they were great. And what was funny is I saw Chris a few nights ago, and asked him about it. I said, how's the tour? He was very matter of fact. Yeah, it was great. But it's weird seeing someone on stage, sold out headline Portsmouth Guildhall, and then you're chatting to them in a pub. And I was honest with him. I said, it's weird chatting to you because there is still a little bit of like starstruckness. Like, I literally saw you do a solo, center stage. He was like, shut up, But
he said, shut up, keep coming.
Just tell me more stuff. But that was cool. That was a fun night out, and it was just nice it was kind of weird to go to a gig and be like, I know some of these people. That's a nice feeling as well. To be like, I don't know.
That's good.
Sort of.
Any jealousy and resentment and envy?
No. All like, well done, lads. Yeah. I even messaged Luke and I was like, well done. It's nice to see. I've said it to him before. I was like, it's nice to see that you're finally getting somewhere. Not getting somewhere, but I don't know. I feel like, when he's on, we'll talk about it all. Yeah. But he should have been a rock star since day one. But anyway, what else are we going to talk about?
Well, I could talk about a little bit more about gear.
Yeah.
Because we used one today, and I think I've got one right here. I'm just going to carefully move the mic as I hang on.
Oh, yeah. The Snareweight. Let's discuss that.
Yeah, I picked up a couple of Snareweights.
Yeah.
I've heard the name. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I heard of them.
That was so intense. As if, like...
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I'd heard of them, George.
It's like I'd asked you, have you heard of them?
Yes, I've heard of them.
Right, got it.
So, someone mentioned them before. I can't remember who it was on the show. And they're dampening. It's a dampening tool for your snare. But I've seen them on other drums. Now, when I was last in G-Russ, getting that recording custom snare drum, So I was trying out quite a few. Rob,
Yeah.
we got loads of snares. I might have bought another one as well. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Since when?
Huh?
I can't keep track now.
The same day as I got the recording custom.
Oh, right. Yeah. Got
Got
you.
a BDC Big Softy. Yeah, don't worry about it. Right. But so when Rob was helping me, he had a couple of snare weights to sort of, try out the dampening and that. And so they're little like leather strips with a kind of clip on, and then you clip it onto the rim of the drum, and then the leather sort of sits around the edge. But what's quite cool is they've got like a magnet in the middle. I'm showing George right now.
Yeah.
I've heard of them, George.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good bit.
And so you got that sort of fully extended, but what you can do is fold one end back and it magnetizes to the middle.
Yeah.
So you can adjust how much of this leather is actually touching the drum.
For the listeners, I'll explain what this looks like. Imagine you're packing to go on holiday and you've got a jumper or a shirt laid out and you go, right, well, let's fold the sleeves over.
in.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, folding the sleeves in on a crop top.
What?
It's but they're so I thought, well, I'm gonna pick up a couple. There's the M1,
Yep.
which we used, which is the smaller one,
Yeah.
and then this is the M80. I don't think they're named after motorways.
No. Is there an M80? What does it go up to?
I don't know.
I'm glad you said I don't know, because I thought you were going to be like, no, you idiot.
There's definitely
only up to-
motorways in the 60s, isn't there?
Well, yeah. There's at least 25.
No, but in the there's the M62
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
Is there an M70 something?
Don't know. Good questions.
That's something we need to look at.
Yeah.
But I've actually very much enjoyed these, and I'll tell you for why. I think they give you your nice dampening, but
Yeah. Sure.
this is, again, I'm not being sponsored by them.
No.
Not at all.
We're not sponsored by anyone.
No, I bought these.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I quite like about them is, right, well, I'll tell you what are maybe criticisms of the other main dampening methods.
Okay.
E-rings, O-rings, and moon gel.
Okay.
Right.
Well, hang on. What's the difference? E-ring and
Some are
O-ring?
called E-rings. I think
okay.
Evans are called E-rings
Right, got you.
because Evans begins with an E, I guess.
For argument's sake, should we just put them as a...
Yeah.
Just call them vowel rings.
Yeah, I like it. They're great. Obviously, they go around the whole drum.
Yeah.
Right? But when you're constantly packing away and setting up a kit, you don't want them to get creased. So they kind of got to live on the drum. But once they get creased, they're a bit useless in a way. So it's quite a high maintenance level. If you take one off, you've got to put it down on a flat set, or at least I do.
And you try not to lose it.
Try not to lose it, because they're clear, exactly. Moon gel, great. You can cut it in half. You can use half, you can use one, you can use two. You've got lots of options for the amount of dampening. But you drop that on a fluffy floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. It loses its stickiness.
Yeah.
Through dirt, through sweat, through grease, through... You drop it on the floor and you've been eating cookies all day.
Yeah.
It's covered in crumbs and it sticks to it. Yeah, they say you can wash it, but it's not the same. It's nothing the same as a fresh moon gel.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
There isn't, no. God, when you open that pot and it's like the first squirt of ketchup, first spoonful of a yogurt. And we've talked about the yogurt spoon before on here,
Yeah.
How... Wouldn't it be great to finish a yogurt and get that first spoonful again?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Whereas these are quite a bit more durable and a bit more like, can slap them around.
He's slapping them around now. He's hitting a child with his snare weight.
So that's something.
Yeah. No, great.
But I'm liking them at the moment.
Investing in one.
But I think the key thing again is options, isn't it? Try it with this, particular snare or tom. Try it with moon gel.
Yeah.
Try it with an O-ring. Try it with vowel ring. Try it with a snare weight.
Yeah.
See how you get on. But I think these are just maybe a little bit more. You can be a little bit more rough and ready with them, and they'll still do the job. If you see what I mean.
I do see what you mean.
Easier to clip on, clip off.
Yeah.
Fold it up, put it in your bag. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. So we used the M1 on the Yamaha snare.
We did. It sounded great.
Did sound good, didn't it?
It sounded sensitive. It was sensitive even lightly. which is something I've talked about before in a snare. That's what I want. Sometimes you have a snare and you can whack it and it's like, oh, that's a snare. But then you'll tap it and you're like, where's...
Sounds like hitting an empty tub of ice cream upside down.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the sizzle?
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about ice cream.
No. Do you know what? I just had a craving for noodles during this chat as well. Isn't that weird? Do you ever just... Something pops into your head? I was talking to Elfie yesterday and she just went... She said, oh, do we need beans? And I said, because we were shopping... I went, should we have beans on toast when we get in? It's like, fuck yeah. You know when you say a meal and you're like, that is now all I want. But yeah, those vowel rings, you know, they can constantly just be a source of problem. I had that joke about 5 minutes ago.
Did you?
And I couldn't worm it in. I was going, how do I say constantly with vowel rings? But I had to just shoehorn it in there.
Yeah.
Should I tell you about Ireland if we're done with Snareweights? I'm just conscious of time.
Yeah, sure.
I went to Ireland. Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Siri's piping up.
Yeah. Went to Ireland with Alfie the other week for 3 days. Great. Went to Cork. Got a hire car. Drove around because I've been to Ireland before, but you go to the cities and then a city anywhere is kind of similar in Europe. You know, there's a lot of similarities. Whereas if you drive about and you're like, oh, this is the real stuff. So
this is the real
deal. So I can't remember where we went, but it was nice.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a funny story from it,
okay.
which sums up the politeness, let's say, the friendliness of Irish people.
Yeah.
So we'd booked a Premier Inn and we get back one night. We've been out on the lash.
Sure. What were you drinking?
Not even Guinness. Beamish. I started on Guinness and then I was a proper wanky tourist and I said to the barman, what do you guys drink? You know, what's the locals? To try and be like, oh, I promise I'm not a tourist.
Yeah.
And he was like, Beamish. And it was like having a Guinness, but it's like chocolatey. It was amazing. I don't even know what it was.
Was it just a chocolate milkshake?
It might have been, yeah. Bitter chocolate milkshake. 4% alcohol. And so on the way back, we get to our hotel and it's Premier Inn and there's the automatic doors. And there's 2 policemen on top
Were they sliding or was it a rotating?
Sliding.
Cool.
2 policemen on top of a guy. They're holding him to the ground, right? And then there's another policeman holding a woman against the wall. And we were like, shit. And they were like right at the doorway, the entrance. We were like, fuck, how do we get through? We didn't want to be, like, sorry, could we? So just kind of waited to see if they'd see us. And they did. But we sort of also wanted to probably watch what was going on a little bit.
Yeah.
And so there's a guy being pressed down on the ground. And he was saying to the 2 policemen that are on top of him, I was just asking you a question. And they're holding him down. And then one of the Garda, I guess they're called, sees us and goes, oh, did you want to come through? Come on through. Like, while just restraining this man who's still going, I was just asking you a question. First of all, what did he ask them? That's what I want to know. Yeah. That meant he got pinned down. But also, it was just...
If the question was, can you pin me down?
Yeah.
Well...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But they were so polite, these, Garda. And I almost expected the man on the ground to also be like, I'm sorry about the inconvenience, I'll move to the side. But it's just great. It's just how they are. It's just, they're all just friendly. You know what I mean? It's weird. I always find, not to slag off England in any way, but there's a lot of things when you go to another country, particularly like how cheap things are. You go, God, it's so cheap over here, to everywhere else. And you go, maybe it's just expensive here. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was a nice little trip. That's all I had to say about that. I just had to tell the story because it was quite funny. Just to watch something so possibly violent be also more friendly than some exchanges you see in Brighton on a checkout at Tesco,
Yeah. Well, I once had not an altercation at all, but a situation with the police in Wales.
Right.
Where 3-day bender, my old band, we travelled quite a lot to Brecon.
Yeah.
It was like a weird underground ska punk scene in this little town or village, and just everyone would go. All the youths would go to these gigs, and so we'd drive up there quite often. And we went up once, and then we were driving, possibly after the gig, driving back. You know what you're like when you're 18.
Yeah.
You know, you're quite fresh behind the wheel.
Mm.
And so we were driving, and a police car pulls up, like, it's behind us, I think, put his lights on, maybe, pulled us over. The Headloo, I think they're called in Wales, the police.
Right.
Headloo, something like that. And we were like, oh, fuck, you know.
Yeah.
And then he just came over and he's like, oh, you do realise you're going the wrong way down a one-way street. Oh, shit, we're not from around here. He was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just turn around.
I'm just thinking of the policeman from Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically that. Yeah, I tried to cross the toll, but I didn't have the 10p. Yeah.
No, not you. The lassie on the bridge. I was going to say something else before we wrap up, because I assume we've done half an hour. It was something. Oh, Joe Gisby listens to this, and I didn't realise. Another one of my friends who listens. I always get weird when someone tells me they listen, because I'm like, fuck, what have I said? Have I said anything about you? But no, he said he puts it on sometimes. Him and his girlfriend.
Sometimes,
you know.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Him and his girlfriend pop on an episode of Drummer. Yeah.
His girlfriend came to the gig, and she was like, "Oh, he's the podcast guy, isn't he?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Gary Lineker? No. Or Rob Brydon? No.
Adam Baxter.
Rob Beckett and Josh Whittaker? No. Peter Crouch? Definitely not.
Definitely not him.
Richard Herring? Not at all. Come on. The other one.
But yeah, so thanks for listening, Joe. Much appreciated. That's it, really. That's all I got. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
I definitely feel like I've gone, over the last couple of weeks, I've gone, I've got loads.
Well, I was going to tell about Ableton. I've started teaching more people Ableton.
That's good, isn't it?
How to, well, yeah, it's quite nice. Pat
Just
Garvey.
stay one lesson ahead.
I know, well, this is it. Pat keeps sending them my way, so I'll get a text from someone. It's happened a few times now. Hi, Pat put me in touch with you. Apparently you know how to use Ableton a bit more than I do. Okay, yeah, cool.
Well, I've built my entire studio career on just knowing a little bit more than other people.
Yeah.
And learning on the job.
And as long as I don't publicly announce that on a podcast, that I don't know much about Ableton before I'm charging for lessons. Yeah, then it's fine.
Everyone's blagging it.
Everyone's blagging it.
Everyone's blagging it.
You know?
You think people have got their shit together?
No.
Not at all.
No. It's weird, isn't it? I'm nearly 30, and I remember looking at 30-year-olds going, oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Look at them. They've got their flat and their job, and they must feel like, oh, I'm settled. I'm good, you know. And you're like, no, not at all. You're like, what is going on all the time? But, yeah, I think I can't think of anything else. We got a guest next week. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'll say this. I think I'm okay saying this. One of the best intros we've ever done.
Easily the best. One of the best. Yeah. It'll be great. And we have got some exciting guests coming up.
Yeah, you've been busy. Yeah.
It should be good.
We've been popping out the feelers.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's going to be some good shit.
But, you know, we'll still do these ones.
I'll tell you what, someone actually...
He's pointing.
I'm pointing. The fingers come out. Pointing. I've just seen a little bit of... I've had seen and heard a few words of people really liking that we spoke to ACS.
Yeah.
And we talked about hearing protection and hearing damage and stuff. So, duty done. Now we can talk about
anything we want.
Anything.
No, I think that was a good episode because someone saw it and they said, "Oh, you do not just do drummers?" And I said, "Well, sort of running out people we know." But yeah, no, I think that was a good one to do, and I think you know it's quite nice that we've got such a concise interview on our channel. You know, not to big ourselves up, but it's, you know, if you want to know about ear health. My God.
That's the one.
That is pretty good.
That is the one.
Yeah, thank you, Jono, for that. What are you pointing at? Oh, yeah.
Should talk about them?
I don't know if we can, because technically they're not yours.
Don't have to.
Nah, leave it.
Nah, leave
Just in case. I don't think he got the money, right? So it's like,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
I bought them off you.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon keep
It's fine.
all of this in and no one knows what we're talking about. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of anything else, really. Oh,
Fuck me. Go on.
speaking of ACS,
Yeah.
so I've ordered a pair.
Oh, yeah.
I've ordered a pair of in-ears,
Mm.
the ones with the vent.
Yep.
But that led me to getting my ears cleaned.
Yeah.
And like, I think you said this when you had yours done, I was shitting myself.
Yeah.
Not even a hearing test, just to get them cleaned.
No, I was looking forward to the hearing test. It was the cleaned. I was terrified for the hearing test because I
Right.
was worried what they'd say.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to get them cleaned.
But I was like, yeah, it could be an absolute shit show in there.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't care. That's what they're
because I don't think
paid
I've
for.
ever had them cleaned, but like,
Yeah.
but I'm going to shout out South Sea Ear Clinic.
Yep.
Pop down there. And yeah, she put a little camera thing in my ear and I could see it on the iPad. It's like a Wi-Fi camera. You're like, this
Yeah.
is cool, isn't
Yeah.
it? You know. She was like, they're all right.
Yeah.
They're fine. Do you want them cleaned? Yes, please.
Mm.
And like you, I just a bit of a big lump
Yeah.
in the left ear,
Yeah.
the hi-hat ear.
Yeah. But you
Pattern
said
occurring.
it didn't feel that different.
No, I didn't. She said because you should get them clean before you have your moulds done, which I'm having done soon. And she said actually like you don't need them done. Like it's
Yeah.
not necessary for you to get the moulds. But we can clean them anyway. And I was like, yeah, I might as well because I do use them for my job. So,
Yeah.
but it was all right. And I didn't really feel like, it felt nice, but I didn't really feel like a huge, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was just like, that was good. Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe I just got good. I always thought I had quite waxy ears, but maybe they're just sort
I'm
of
very
good.
waxy.
A good sort of level.
Yeah. Maybe. But let me know how you get on with them because I regardless of how you get on with them, I do need to get a good pair of in-ears, I've decided. Because even the other day, for example, I was playing along to some tracks and I was just using the Shaw SE 215s and I had to really crank it to, battle against the other instruments and stuff coming out of speakers, and I was like, this isn't good. I'm aware that this is loud. And it wasn't that long, it'd be like one song and then stop and then whatever. But yeah, it's I think I said it, that chat with Jono, I had one wake up call and it was that, using those buds or whatever, and you go, oh, it's not just loud, but it's louder than everything around you. And you're like, that's not good because, if you're at a gig, gigs are loud. And there was a part of me that naively was thinking, well, this is instead of that, And I think some people can think that, where it's like, well, I've got my in-ears in and I've got this click track instead of the drums, but it's actually like you got the drums and then the click on top. So, yeah, I think it's time for some in-ears. And I think it was almost, I never got them because it seems like such an investment to go like, well, is it worth it for the gigs I'm doing? But a lot of what I have bought, it's sort of like, well, those gigs will come, so it's like, just get them now.
It's funny, innit? You'll spend 300, 400 quid on a cymbal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not 300, 400 quid to protect your hearing.
Yeah. And your health and your well-being,
What that cymbal is going to fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
But
yeah, nice.
Well, let's bounce, man.
Yeah.
But it's been lovely having you here at the old blacksmiths all day.
Yeah.
I look forward to taking your money.
Yeah.
In a minute.
Yep.
And did you enjoy yourself?
I did. Yeah. And I'd recommend it to anyone.
Do you think I'm good at my job?
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Just winding you up.
No, it's good. Yeah, you are. A lot of experience.
Can you praise me?
What kind of praise do you want? For the general friendliness is great.
Yep.
But I feel like that's because we are mates.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was good is the kit was already set up. So, but that's not how it works.
Not always.
Not always. So that was a surprise. Yeah, just feel like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Wasn't any. Oh, what's happened there?
Smooth, wasn't it?
Don't know what that
Smooth
is.
process.
It was smooth. Yeah, it's just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So come here if you want anything done, recorded wise. You know what I mean? People listening.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. How do you know? You know, how do you know before you take a punt on someone? You know, how do people know I can do the job as a drummer? They don't. They have to risk it. There's to be every first gig.
I'll see this video soon.
This is it. Every first gig you do with someone, they're going to see what he does. If it goes well, you get another gig. If it doesn't, you don't. But I think recording studio, it's like it is sort of, well, this is our band and this is our
It's
EP.
all about relationships, and the relationship has to start somewhere.
It does. Anyway,
What?
come
9
here.
out of 10? Just 10 out of 10?
Yes,
Did you say?
yes, obviously. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
The only downside was my
All right.
downside of
All
the
right.
camera. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my camera was fine.
Yeah, your camera was great.
Good
So-
shot though. That's a good shot.
Yeah.
The above drummer shot.
Yeah.
It's really good, isn't it?
When the video comes out, you'll see there's a lot more above shots than face on. But yeah, great day. Now let's go and try and beat the traffic.
Lovely.
Lovely stuff.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.